see your window open, I can know that you're hearing me. Why you harassing my neighbors, huh? Why you trying to look into their fucking windows in the middle of the night, you piece of shit? Every fucking night, 4091, you fat fuck. Why don't you get out of that train and come over here and try to harass me in person, you piece of shit? Yeah, too much of a aren't ya? I'll tell you right now, the minute that gets out of his train and steps a toe on my property, I am going to consider that a threat, since this piece of shit is stalking me. And I'm gonna 5 ways from Friday in the name of self-defense.
That wonderful individual yelling at that train is Shawn Verlyn Burgstrum, and he is a schizophrenic lolcow on YouTube, and he believes that he is being stalked by the Union Pacific Railroad. I hope today you guys enjoyed this video. Shawn Verlyn Burgstrum is a resident of Council Bluffs, Iowa. He is a 46-year-old. He lives in a humble one-bedroom home. He is presumably single. He's never mentioned a significant other, and he is employed as a door dasher. He was a submariner in the Navy, quote unquote, during the Clinton administrations. He claims that he was a quote unquote nuclear weapons security guard and had quote unquote a secret classified clearance for his job as a sonar technician. Shawn's home is literally on the wrong side of not just one, but two very busy railroad tracks. County Bluffs, thanks to its central location in the county, is the nexus for several major railroads. The 8 p.m. Pervert is a train that switches cars in the yard. It has to pull into Shawn's neighborhood and then moves back and forth as the cars are being switched onto different tracks. It runs past Shawn's house starting at 8 p.m. and usually cuts off around midnight. Shawn also gives the loving name of the overnight shitbag. The overnight shitbag moves cars from the Union Pacific Yard south of Shawn's house to the UP/Canadian National Yard north of Shawn's house. There is also the quote-unquote weekend shitbag or quote-unquote weekend shitwheel, which is also just the 8 p.m. Pervert and the overnight shitbag, but they show up earlier because there are fewer trains on Saturday and Sunday. Sometimes a through train will stop on 12th Street because there's a red signal. If this takes place at the same time as the 8 p.m. Pervert, the neighborhood would be completely blocked on both sides. This isn't completely true. It is possible to drive a few blocks to get around the trains, but when it does happen, Shawn will be raging extra hard because he believes he is trapped in his neighborhood.
9 p.m. Here we have the 8 p.m. Pervert. Instead of sitting right in front of my house for the last half an hour, he backed up 2 blocks, sat there for a half an hour, until the Union Pacific ran another train on those tracks down there. That's when this worthless fucking piece of shit, who harasses my neighborhood every single night, right around 8 or 9 p.m., that's why he decided to move. Sat down there 2 blocks and fucking waited until another train came through here just so he could block off my neighborhood. He did that shit on purpose. He did it to harass people. And now you can see he's not even fucking moving. He's just gonna pull in, block off the entire fucking neighborhood, and stop. That way there's no way in or out of my neighborhood. He's doing this shit on purpose. Doing this shit on purpose, and you just fucking saw it. Can't go that way. Can't go that way. Can't go this way. Can't go that way. No way in or out of my fucking neighborhood because this worthless piece of shit driving this train thinks this is funny. You know, when somebody needs an ambulance and they can't get one, and the relatives decide to freak out after the funeral and fuck this guy's up, I'm gonna laugh my ass off when that happens. Ha ha, ha ha ha, you fat bearded stupid fuck.
Besides moving out of this neighborhood and getting away from the trains, Shawn uploads multiple YouTube videos a day. Shawn hasn't done much about the Pacific Union Railroad. He talks a lot of crap about them though. But so far he is careful to threaten the railroad without committing a crime. I'm not sure how much longer this can go on for because Shawn's speech is getting fairly violent in his videos. and a lot of users are waiting for him to take matters into his own hands and try to board a locomotive. But they also can't rule out sabotage to these trains. Time will tell. He is a constant uploader, and some of his videos are very entertaining though. The Pacific Union is an evil company to Shawn. Shawn right about yelling at the Pacific Union and pulling out all these trains. No, not really. Shawn's house was built in the 1900s. The Pacific Union Railroad has existed in County Bluffs since 1863. You can see the up tracks in the topography of the map from 1893. The railroad was there first. Property records indicate that Shawn bought the house, presumably with a VA loan. If he didn't like the railroad, he should have moved somewhere else. On each and every one of Shawn's videos, dozens of people tell him that the railroad workers are just doing their jobs, that the tracks don't have to be in the greatest shape because the speed limit is 10 miles per hour, and he should just move if he hates the railroad so much. They fail to realize that trying to reason with Shawn over YouTube is no more effective than Shawn yelling at the locomotives. One of these people is Union Pacific Rail Fan. Union Pacific Rail Fan is a 20-something-year-old man who loves Paw Patrol and trains. He made several Shawn B exposed videos where he talks about Shawn and defends his beloved company, the Union Pacific Railroad. It's difficult to discern what he is saying because he has some kind of speech impediment.
I'm going to expose Shawn B. He has been harassing on the Pacific Railroad. He keep on complaining about it and they're blocking the freaking crossings and the horns. And hey, guess what, dude? It's not your business. Yeah, and quit. Be the baby about it. Get over it, Shawn B.
Shawn has ran for mayor of Council Bluffs twice. Someone on the Kiwi Farms got a trial subscription to County Bluffs newspaper to confirm this. He lost both elections. Found 3 interesting facts about his campaign for mayor. First, in 2004, he was asked how he would address the city's rampant problem with meth. Shawn recommended going after the people who supplied the person smoking the meth. YouTube commenters suggested that Shawn is on meth or crack himself. This tidbit of his campaign suggests against it, but I believe Shawn simply has some kind of psychotic disorder. Shawn also suggests that Council Bluffs gets a commuter train. A few times he said that the Rock Island Railroad, which is the one that owns the track before the Pacific Union bought it from them in the late 70s, was a good railroad. This shows that Shawn doesn't completely hate trains. His anger is directed towards the Union Pacific. In a few videos, Shawn has derided Matt Walsh, the true and honest mayor of County Bluffs. He claims that Matt Walsh is in cahoots with a bunch of retired people that work for Union Pacific. Blames local politicians without doing any meaningful research. Shawn did have a podcast. It was not that interesting. He just had some unwarranted self-importance. He basically had the belief of quote-unquote, well, both sides are wrong, but I'm right kind of take. He doesn't talk about the Union Pacific or the trains in these podcasts. He does talk about COVID, slavery. There were only 8 podcasts, and all of them were from 2021, and all but 2 were from early 2021. The only interesting episode is episode 1, where Shawn gives some self-docs information about his Navy service and mayor campaigns. You can also hear train horns in the background and in some of the other podcasts as well. Shawn's first video on the Pacific Railroad was a YouTube video posted on June 3rd, 2022. So I believe his paranoia towards the Pacific Railway came on suddenly. Otherwise, the podcasts, they're unremarkable. In late May, early June of 2023, Shawn called the Union Pacific's customer service line over 15 times. Late May, early June of 2023, Shawn called the Union Pacific's customer service line over 15 times. He kept harassing them and probably made some thinly veiled threats. Local police were dispatched to Shawn's home to give him a verbal warning. Shawn was not charged with any crime, but he was warned that he would be charged if he persisted. This is where Shawn says he's a door dasher. It also confirms his address. It's clear that Shawn already knows the law enforcement because they greet him by his first name without prior introduction. Shawn has claimed that he was visited by the FBI. He said the FBI determined that he hasn't broken any federal law. I believe Shawn is telling the truth. The FBI will sometimes visit a potential criminal. They will warn the person that they are being watched and that they shouldn't do anything stupid. Shawn has taken these to mean that the feds aren't going to try to stop him, so he keeps doing what he's doing. He also claims that he has passed information about the Union Pacific Railway off to the FBI. This is true. The FBI has a tip line that receives ramblings and various other nothing burgers.
No fucking trains on either one of these tracks. Well, I'll tell you what fucking happened. What happened is that the bearded, fat, fucking waste of life shitbags that are usually down here every 30 minutes in the middle of the fucking night in a residential neighborhood, well, what happened is that they screamed rape. They screamed, "Oh, we've been raped by Shawn's videos, and we need him to be thrown in jail for the rest of his life because he raped us with his words. It doesn't matter that we're breaking the law. He raped us with his words, goddammit, and he needs justice." That's what they did. And evidently, I've been under the investigation of the FBI and a couple other law enforcement agencies over the past couple months, and I just got the word from two different people, both from the FBI and from the local law enforcement, that tell me that they're closing the case on my videos because there's nothing criminal I've said or done or viewed as far as me breaking the fucking law.
Union Pacific employees in Council Bluffs have been instructed not to engage with Shawn. This is decent Lolcow milk, but it's not good for the Union Pacific's image and their employees' safety. Here's a rare instance of an engineer yelling at Shawn that she cannot move the train. It takes place before Union Pacific put out the memo saying, "Do not engage with Shawn."
Here we are, the weekend asshole, blocking the fucking street. Look at this. Just to where he's blocking the street. Parked right outside of my house. Hey, is there a reason you're blocking the street? Is there a reason you're blocking the street? Yeah, you can't back up 10 feet, huh? No? Just impossible? Necessary to railroad operations to block a street like this? No, you can move it back 5 feet. That's perfectly possible. I see you backing up in front of my house all the time. I know you can do it. All right, so yeah, go ahead and laugh and smile on this. Yeah, you're gonna be on the internet. Yeah, oh, don't worry, I'm gonna complain about you too. No, you can back up 10 feet. You have no business being here. Why are you here? What are you picking up, huh? What are you picking up? No, they weren't. My house was built in 1900, and the Rock Island Railroad built these railroad tracks. So you don't know what you're talking about. No, get out of my neighborhood. How's that sound? You got no reason to be here. Get out of my neighborhood. Stop harassing my neighbors. Yeah, have you seen the condition of the railroad tracks? It's because people like you are sitting here on the tracks all day long for no reason. That's why all these tracks are torn up. Any given day now, you're gonna have a derailment, and I'm gonna have you on the internet laughing your ass off at me. How's that sound?
So, on the Kiwi Farms, this post on Shawn is very small. And there hasn't been really a lot of updates since really his 2023, but there has been some 2024, so I will go over that now. Shawn, in 2024, uploaded to one of his other channels called Shawn of America. He saw a distant quadcopter filming a fireworks display and thinks it was an UFO. And there was a user that on the Kiwi Farm that did want to clarify how bad the train situation was around Shawn. Their post reads, "I feel like most people have a large misunderstanding of how just terrible the train traffic actually is in that area where Shawn is. Here is an image depicting what the locals called the quote-unquote triangle of death, because it is quite literally inescapable. Sure, if you are outside of the triangle, you can easily drive around it. However, anybody that is in the inside of this triangle at the wrong time can be easily stuck without an actual exit. It is very common for the Union Pacific to have their trains be up 3 miles long, meaning that they can quite literally sit there for hours. This person goes on to say that not everyone can/wants to move because a corporation is ruining the quality of life and safety for its inhabitants there. The most likely outcome is putting in a warning signals far ahead of the triangle to alert drivers and pedestrians in enough time, shown in the image above. It seems like the guy that wrote the last post that I just read off also found that it looks like the other neighbors of Shawn are getting fed up as well of the trains blocking the neighborhood, and as the user puts in the last post, the quote-unquote triangle of death. So maybe something will be done about these trains, and maybe Shawn isn't a total schizo after all. But that is the video, and I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.